Welcome to Lunch Break Tarot. I'm Jolene, and if this video's found you, there's a message in it you're supposed to hear, big or small, so trust the timing. And when something I say resonates, please let me know by liking and subscribing. Let's get on with your reading. What is happening? What would you benefit from knowing about before it happens? This is a timeless reading, but it happens to be a Thursday. Okay, we have Four of Swords and Five of Pentacles. Okay, so right away, I'm getting that you're feeling triggered about something and you are trying to respond differently than you normally do. I heard Joe Hudson of Art of Accomplishment say that nobody's like, if somebody's angry at you, it's like you didn't necessarily do something wrong. And like their anger is about them. And I think that is like I believe in that guy, but yeah, sometimes I would really like to see some of this stuff for myself. Okay, so we got Knight of Swords in reverse, and so I guess because you got triggered in a particular way that makes you feel like alone or something, you're you're holding back your words now, Knight of Swords, in order to not respond the same way that you normally do. You might have you might be feeling alone, and like talking about your feelings isn't really getting you anywhere with another person. And so you have a lot that you normally would try to communicate with them, but it feels kind of useless, and you're trying to have a different perspective about like what they do or what they did or what they're doing that's making you upset. What else? And if somebody is not communicating with you right now, you could flip it. If you feel like somebody has something to say to you, but they're like not as much as they normally would, it it could apply to them instead. But we'll clarify. I forgot to put on my bracelets. And all right. Clarify Five of Pentacles. I know I didn't explain that Joe Hudson thing very well. I had a lot of stuff going on in my brain at the same time. Plus, I just got off work. All right, clarifying the Five of Pentacles, we have the Chariot, Temperance, and the Empress. So, since you feel triggered, you might have in the past maybe made threats to the person that is triggering you, like threats of consequences, like that maybe you were going to, like, if you keep doing this, then I'm going to do such and such thing. Or you might have, like, for one example, might be that you might have withdrawn um, access to them, but withdrawn access to you, but you've gone through that so many times and you're trying to stop feeling abandoned, even by creating abandonment by offering that consequence or threatening that consequence when someone triggers you. Like it might be that someone made you feel like they weren't on the same team as you, or they weren't responsive to your needs, and so you were just like in the past maybe like fine, if you don't meet my expectations, then there's a cute cat on my street right now is hunting. I don't see what it's hunting. This is the wildest cat. Anyway, you might you might have threatened consequences in the past to withdraw access in order to get your needs met. And you've been through that so much that you're tired of the extremes with the temperance card here. You're trying to stop dealing in extremes. So you are feeling your feelings and getting on top of it. Um, you're trying to change within instead of demanding them to change on the outside. And you're taking it one day at a time. And then this is your conditioning and your dreams. And you're trying to grab the reins on both of those. Let me see. The Chariot. Something's going to be a success. And this is really good that all of these, that's what you're working on, is this abandonment wound or displacement trauma. Just you're tired of being alone when someone else doesn't meet your needs and expectations. That's a big deal. It's 3 major arcana cards. I hope I described it well so far. But yeah, you're trying to not deal in extremes. And you're trying to just feel your feelings when someone is triggering you. And it looks like that's a successful approach. And this is like who you're becoming, the Empress, someone who doesn't lack for anything, not relationships, not money. Okay, clarifying the 4 of Swords, we've got the Ace of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles. So this is a new beginning in something that's going to make you feel more stable. Pentacles is monetary support, and it's support from others as well, community. Like that's why the 10 of Pentacles is not just legacy wealth, it's also having like a deep rooted familial and community well to draw from. So you're having a new beginning in that. And the Empress is Venus, love and money. So you're having a new beginning that will make it feel like you won't have to compromise. The 4 of Pentacles is about stability. And these are both clarifying the 4 of Swords. So you're about to feel a lot more stable because you're doing the work, the internal work that you need to do. But you're also getting an offer from the outside that you're drawing into you, that you're attracting to yourself because of the Empress. So you're drawing it in because you're doing the work, but there is something that's coming from the outside. Not that you need rescued or anything, but you are going to get the support that you need. Clarify the Knight of Swords in reverse. that one wanted to come out, but okay, so we have the Two of Wands. So this is the same as um, the Five of Pentacles in the beginning. You're feeling triggered, which is making you want to choose one thing, but you've chosen that thing over and over again, and it's caused you a lot of pain, even though it seems like rational and like it would have support from society to choose that one way. You're going deeper. Four of Swords. You're seeing the opportunity in something that other people might look on and think it's a lost cause. So you have a decision, and because of what you would do in the past is why it's still a decision. Otherwise, you would just choose the other way. But there's reasons because this, just for an example, like if this is a relationship or it could be a job, whatever it is, it could be either because it's Venus, so it's love or money. Take it as it resonates. But maybe we'll say if it's a job, you might have quit a lot in the past and now you don't want to quit. You want to stick through it for once. And so you're feeling your feelings, you're being strategic, you're finding a new way to make it work at this job. Just for an example, instead of quitting. Or you could even flip that too. It's whatever your circumstance is. If you normally just don't stick up for yourself and you always work and you don't quit, it could be the other thing. But then applying it to love, it is, for an example, would be that you normally, if someone doesn't meet your expectations, you normally like take away access. I kind of already said this. And now you're relying on yourself. Yeah, and I remember where I was going now. So you're being more self-reliant, but without necessarily cutting off ties to the person that's disappointing you. With Temperance here, you're letting it become its own thing. You're letting it reveal itself to you. Yeah. So you're just letting it reveal itself to you. And that's why it's a decision. You know, you will act at some point in the future, but you're not acting yet. But you are going within, you're holding your tongue, Knight of Swords in reverse. You're being more self-reliant, the Empress. You're doing your own thing, you're going your own way. Not necessarily away from that person, but you're just like being more self-reliant. And you might be sharing your space with somebody even though they trigger you, because the Chariot is ruled by Cancer, which rules home. Or yeah. Okay, so do we get to see what's the outcome of this? So if you're thinking of, let's say if it's a job or a relationship, doesn't have to be romantic, just a significant relationship. And let's say you would normally quit them. You would quit the job or quit the relationship, but you're trying to change yourself instead. What's the outcome? Okay, it looks like you're going to be anxious for a little while about it. Is there advice? It looks like it's not going to be resolved quickly. Well, the advice is leave the thing behind. Follow your intuition, of course. It could also be to stop overthinking it. I don't know. I mean, that's what it says. If I'm going with that, it says that the outcome is anxiety and leave it behind. And look at all those swords. I don't know. You'll have to tell me how this applies to you and if that feels like solid counsel, because you're the CEO of your life and you're responsible for your own decisions. But yeah, seeking or turning to tarot is a useful reflective tool. So yeah, let me know. I'm going to wrap this up here. If something I said resonates, please let me know by liking and subscribing. If you want a personal reading from me, the link's in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.